He never told his kids that being a single father was exhausting to them. He was a superhero, but when they were asleep, he would hide his exhaustion. "Daddy looks nice," said his daughter, Emma, tugging on his sleeve. It wasn't easy being a single parent, but he was doing his best. "I'm not tired," he said quickly, but Ben wasn't convinced. He loved his kids more than anything in the world, but he couldn't even give them the one thing they needed most, his time. When Emma woke up the next morning, she found Thomas asleep on the couch. She tiptoed over and nudged him with her elbow. He made breakfast for Emma and Ben, and the three of them headed over to Sarah's house. "Bye, kids," Thomas said, giving them each a hug. "Be good for Aunt Sarah, okay?" "Okay, Daddy," Emma replied. As he watched them walk away, he felt a sense of relief. He knew that they were in good hands. He spent the day working on some odd jobs around the house, catching up on much-needed rest. When his kids came back, they were excited to tell him all about their day, but Thomas was too tired to listen. He had fallen asleep on the couch again. Emma and Ben looked at each other, then at their dad sleeping peacefully on the couch. "I guess Daddy is really tired," Ben whispered to Emma. Emma nodded. She knew that her dad was exhausted, but she didn't know how to help him. "Daddy, wake up. We're going to be late for school." He was quiet as he walked into their room and sat on the edge of their beds. He learned to rely on his family and friends, and he stopped working such long hours. He was still a superhero to his kids, but now they knew that he needed help sometimes, and they were there to help him. "Daddy," Emma asked, "why are you so tired?" Thomas looked at his two kids and sighed. "I haven't been honest with you," he said. "What do you mean?" Ben asked. "Well," Thomas began, "being a single father is hard. I work long and hard hours so that you guys don't have to worry, but why don't you ask for help?" Emma asked. I don't know," Thomas replied. "I guess I was too proud to admit that I needed help." He looked at his kids and saw understanding in their eyes. "We want to help you, Daddy," Ben said. "We're here to help too," Emma added. Thomas felt tears pricking at his eyes. He pulled his kids into a tight hug. "Thank you," he whispered. "I love you both very much." "We love you too, Daddy," Emma and Ben said in unison. Thomas opened his eyes and forced a smile. "Morning, sweetheart," he said groggily. "You sleep well?" "Yeah, you?" Emma asked. "Like a log," he replied, although it wasn't true. He had tossed and turned all night, unable to sleep. Emma helped him up and the two of them made their way to the kitchen. "Do you want some breakfast?" Emma asked. "Sure," Thomas said. As Emma made breakfast, Thomas couldn't help but stare at the floor. He was exhausted, but he couldn't afford to take a day off. The bills wouldn't pay themselves. "You okay, Daddy?" Emma asked, setting down a plate of food in front of him. Thomas jumped slightly and forced a smile. "Yeah, I'm fine, just thinking about work." "Oh," Emma said, not knowing what else to say. She sat down across from him and began eating. Thomas knew that he couldn't keep this up much longer. He was worried that he might drop off in the middle of a project or, God forbid, fall asleep while driving the kids somewhere. He loved his kids too much to put them in danger. He had to find a way to get more rest. "Are you sure? You keep falling asleep while reading us stories. Do you have any free time tomorrow? Can I bring the kids over?" "Sure," Sarah said. "No problem. Come over at AM and stay as long as you need." Thomas felt tears pricking at his eyes. He hadn't asked his sister for help in months, but he knew that he needed it. "Thanks, Sarah," he whispered. "I owe you one." "Don't mention it," Sarah said. "Just come over tomorrow." "Oh, and Thomas," she added, "Mom and I are going shopping, so if you need anything, just let us know." "Okay," Thomas said, wiping away a straight hair. He knew that he could count on his sister. She was always there for him and he knew that she would take good care of his kids. "Well, Thomas stammered, trying to come up with an excuse. "You look like you need a nap, Daddy," Emma chimed in, her big blue eyes filled with concern. Thomas felt his throat tighten. He had tried to hide his exhaustion from his kids, but they had noticed. He sighed. "I guess I am a little tired." He forced a smile. "But don't worry, Daddy's a superhero. A little tiredness can't stop me." He gave them each a quick kiss. "Now go to sleep, my loves. We have a busy day tomorrow." The kids snuggled under their blankets and closed their eyes, but before they could drift off to sleep, Thomas heard a sob. He turned off the lights and walked over to Ben's bed. "What's wrong, buddy?" he whispered. Ben sniffed back a tear. "It's nothing," he mumbled into his pillow. "You sure?" Thomas asked gently. Ben hesitated before whispering, "I think I'm too much to handle. You're always tired and you work so hard. I'm sorry." Thomas's heart broke. He knelt down next to the bed and pulled Ben into a tight hug. "Don't ever say that again, you hear me?" he said fiercely. "You are my greatest accomplishment. Don't ever think that I'm too tired to take care of you. I love you too much for that." Ben nodded, but Thomas could tell that his son still felt guilty. He hugged him again. "Now go to sleep, champ. Daddy will be right outside your door if you need anything." He tucked Ben in and kissed his forehead before turning off the lights and closing the door. He worked in construction during the day and took care of the kids at night. He would tuck them into bed and sing them songs until they fell asleep. Then he would get to work fixing the house or doing odd jobs until the sun came up. By the time he was done, he was exhausted, but he wouldn't show it in front of his kids. They didn't need to know how hard it was. "Ready for your date?" Yep, Thomas replied, kissing her forehead. Just one more thing. He went to the bathroom and stared at his reflection. The guy staring back seemed like a stranger. His eyes were red and puffy from lack of sleep, but he couldn't let his kid see that, so he splashed some water on his face and forced a smile, looking at himself one last time. He shook his head and walked out. He had to be strong. For Emma and Ben, his son, he was their hero after all. Thomas adjusted his tie and smiled warmly at his two beautiful children. Thomas had been working night shifts since his wife left him and took half of his salary with her. One night, Thomas was putting the kids to bed when Ben asked, "Why do you look so tired, Daddy?" Thomas froze. How did his son know? As he walked back to his room, he couldn't help but feel like a failure. That night, after tucking the kids into bed, Thomas went to his room and called his sister. "Hey, Sarah, it's me." The next morning, Thomas woke up feeling refreshed for the first time in months. One night, while Emma and Ben were getting ready for bed, they heard their father come home. From that day on, things got easier for Thomas.